was very young when my mother was really one of the older members of the ministry. I was like, maybe I was in grade three, but yeah, I was belonged to the children's department that time the first time I know them.
I think I was 7 or 8 years old when we started watching his Hour of Truth telecast and when my mom became a member.
I was 15 years old when I first encountered the Church of Quiboloy, and that was during 90s. Youth Come to Me was introduced as it's kind of like ecstasy, because it's full of activities, and you only have little sleep, like 2 hours of sleep. So your mind is not thinking straight, and you have activity full day and full night of activities with new people.
There was a sense of exclusivity, like you are set apart, They have always ingrained in our minds that we are a special people, that we are separate from the world, and we are above, everyone else. We are totally different. So that sense of belongingness, was very, very strong.
Towards the end of the events, there is encouraging message that whoever want to join and become a full-time worker, it's going to be a great calling. This is the best calling of your life, because you're going to be serving the best of the best, which is the Lord Jesus Christ. You stop everything, you leave everything behind, including your family. And my mom didn't even stop me.
We will be housed in a worker's house, is what they call it. And, we were like canned sardines. It was the space was very tight. We all sleep together, we all take showers together, and we all eat together. We would wake up at maybe 3 or 4 a.m. for devotional, and then we would be dispersed to the area at maybe 6 a.m. And then we are not allowed to go home, and it doesn't matter if it's past midnight until we meet our individual quotas.
So I can tell you how we get a lot of money. Number one, pretend that you are a student. You are a student, you are a self-supporting student, and you are doing this for your study, to continue your study. You don't have parents, you don't have family, and yet you are surviving as a student. So they will give you a big chunk of money because they feel terrible. Now, the other thing is, we pretend that we were deaf and mute. So we try to do the sign language pretending that we were deaf and mute. And Apollo Quiboloy made a claim that was the ultimate sign of the second coming. And that's why we have to leave our school, we have to leave our family and join the ministry. We were the breadwinner. We were the one helping out with my mom. So we left our mom and our family. We left our school and joined the ministry because we want our family to be saved. Because Pastor Quiboloy told us that we were the key of the salvation of our family, and therefore we have to offer ourselves as a full-time worker if we want our family to be saved. What Pastor Quiboloy used as palo is the thickest belt that you can ever see. It's like a belt that meant for horses. And the reason I was spanked, it's because I watch movie with other workers. Pastor Quiboloy and other inner circle, the inner of the innermost, they went to US, and then when they get here, they were watching movies. And so that information leaked out when they came back to the Philippines. And then they told us that we are free. We have freedom. We assume that since they watch movie, we assume that we can also watch movie. So we went to the theater and we watched movies. We came back to the compound and we told everybody we were so proud that we were watching movie. So there you go. I got spanked. Per movie is 20 spank. So I watched 3 movies and that's where I had 60. But some people, they had 120 spank at one time. My butt and the back of my thighs actually was bleeding. And I could not sit straight for 2 weeks. There are a bunch of these full-time workers who think that they had devil in them. They were punished by using hot pepper, a labuyo. A labuyo, and put that labuyo in their eyes. The inner of the inner circle, they are the ones who are called spiritual wives, and they perform the administrative work for the ministry. Number 1 is you have to be attractive to be in the pastoral. Okay. Either your inner circle or innermost circle. You have to be attractive, and then you have to be obedience. Like you don't question whether you understand or not. You don't question. It's called for absolute obedience. The youngest spiritual wives at that time, he was the one that would prepare Pastor Quiboloy's clothing, what he's going to wear for what event. And then she was the one that would dry him after taking a shower, and then put his socks on his feet, put the shoes on him, and put everything that his body needs. When I was there, the first duty that I had was to serve this called spiritual wives. I will bring food for them. I will wash all their clothes, including their underwear. I will carry a container of water for them to use for bathing. And then after that, I will clean up their bedrooms. And then at night, I will give them massages to their satisfaction, until they're satisfied, and they will tell me, okay, now you can sleep. When I was there serving them as their maid, they do a rotation on who will sleep with Quiboloy on certain nights, right? And why I know that, because sometimes I fall asleep on their bed and they weren't there, so therefore they are with Pastor. And then the next morning, they will ask me to clean Pastor's bedroom, and I was young then. I don't know what happened. I didn't think of anything else. And then there were a bunch of tissues on the floor. During that time, while I was massaging them, the strange thing that really struck me is 2 of them asked me the same question: if I was still a virgin. So I was young. I was like, yes, I don't have any experience with any man. After being maid of this spiritual wives, I became maid of Pastor Quiboloy. And then They introduced me to give him massages on the feet.
I was there, started from 1986, and then I got out from the year 1998. I thought I'm not worth it anymore because that time I couldn't cope up the goal, the financial goal, and it's getting so heavy to me. On that time, like when I started selling fish and I go to the fish port, it was even harder for me because from selling photo and I need to go to the fish port in the middle of the night when we go to the fish port and buy fish to distribute it in the morning, early in the morning. So I didn't really have sleep. So it's just keep on selling just to make money.
They would find something that is a flaw of yours, and they would keep on repeating it to you. They would tell you that you are of the devil, that you need to repent because you have been possessed. So, and then they would make you stand up in front of everyone, and ask you why you earned very little. And they still do that to members, not just people who go to Manila in December, but in church services when they give a specific amount for you to pay. They would make members stand up and ask them, what would you do now?
It's not true that when you decide to quit or to go out from the ministry, it's just easy as, hey, I'm going out because I cannot handle anymore. The most thing that we do is climb up to the wall and get out, because that's the best thing that we can do, because it's not easy to ask permission because they will do something else, they will hold you. So when I managed to get out, and then I struggled. So when I got out, I was like 22, something like that. And then I struggle a lot how to live outside. It's like you are a lot of steps behind. You only know selling stuff, because that's what they said. Your focus and your interest, it should be for the kingdom and for the kingdom only. Because there is something that you put into your head that stays in my subconscious. Like when you are a worker and then you turn your back from your commitment and you are carrying the curse. And that's what in my head. It was like my brother, because my brother is a minister. See, he keeps on telling me that, look, I know that you're giving your tithes, you're still sending your tithes to the ministry, but it isn't enough if you are not there, your presence. So he always encouraged me to come back. And then when I decided that to be revamped, I have given right away a financial quota, like just right away. When I get back, I just baptized, and then they're giving me like 2,000 Singapore dollars to that was because like a caroling time. I just really committed to that nonstop. I mean, I can't even count it on my fingers. And then I realized that I couldn't pay anymore my mortgage. To be honest, I lost my house, and I couldn't even send money for my daughter. I'm a single mom.
she told me what really happened. That she was forced to have intercourse with Quiboloy, and at that time I didn't believe her. She was crying. I didn't believe her. I still fighting for Quiboloy. I was like, you are nothing but a liar.
How many former pastorals have told you that they have been forced to have sex with Quiboloy?
More than this, more than 10. And they are in different part of the world. When I start talking to these people, and actually one of the victim, I was one who took care of her when her mom dropped her off in the compound when she was children. And then she told me what happened to her, and she's still struggling. And that's when I have like, okay, this is it. I cannot afford not to believe her.
How
with
old
everything.
was this? How old was this?
Well, at that time, when she was abused by Quiboloy, she was in her teenager age, young age. I was once asked to marry a full-time worker, a minister, because I'm divorced, and I am a U.S. citizen. So I was once asked to marry in paper one of their ministers so that he can stay here in the U.S. legally or permanently. So whenever he comes here, they would invite me to meet him in LA. So when I met him, it seems like nothing have changed. The relationship was still kind of like the same as it was when I was there. So that was really strange because I felt like at that time I was so privileged. That's when they sent a bunch of full-time workers. They rotate every week. There's different full-time workers that would come to my house, and I house them so that they can do their solicitation. That's all year round. During that time, I married to a pilot. He was making good money as a pilot. So, but then I was also working full-time. So all of our home expenses was covered by his salary. So my wages, all of my wages were going to Quiboloy's church due to the givings, the multiple givings that they implied to me. That he would want my husband to be his pilot, and at that time he had he didn't have airplane yet. So then I was like, okay, I'll talk to him. I told him that I will talk to my husband. So when he purchased the first airplane that he had, we were the first passenger of that airplane because he wants my husband to check that specific airplane, the engine and everything, if it was good for him to buy. So when he bought that airplane, the next thing is Pastor Quiboloy offered us to move to Davao, and he told me that I could have as many children as I want, and he would take care the expenses, the house, and the education of my children. Of course, my husband didn't agree with the idea because number one, he's not going to make as much money if we go full time, right? So then, so that didn't happen. So then they told me that the next move is to leave my husband to leave my husband for the kingdom, because if I were to leave my husband, then he won't have any choice but to follow us. And so I could not do that. They kind of like giving me a cold shoulder, but they were still sending full-time workers to us.
And then there was a time, like it was 2019, that I realized that I talked to them, to one of the leader here. I said, look, I'm struggling in my health. I really have to go look after my health. I need to go series of checkups, and can I not leave my my obligations? And they don't care about that. They don't care. They say, no matter what happens to you, you have to give what you're assigned to give.
My mom came here and she got sick. She was in the hospital. So I could not work as much hours anymore, because here in the US we got paid by hours. So I could not work that much hours anymore because I have to take care of my mom. But then they still want me to give my money to them. And when they found out that my mom was sick, they told me that it was my fault. I was cursed because Pastor Quiboloy called me and my family to go back, but then I did, and that's why I was cursed. So that's what the situation that broke the camel's back, in my case.
When I realized that I get out to the ministry, and I just want to have a quiet life, I did not say anything. And then the next thing they do, they just make a story to make my image bad. They contact every members, and they have a very big Zoom meeting, and they use my brother to stand up against me and say something against me. Like they said to everybody that I'm like a devil, that I should be avoided.
When you get out from the mission, there's going to be a series of abuse that you have to go through, because they would accuse you for things that you have not done. Like you stole something, you committed a fornication, and you are nothing but a bad person, you are a devil, and then because of that you are going to hell. But then if you speak up, like if I am doing this and I am in the Philippines, there would be people that would roam around my house and waiting for me to get out so that they can kill me.
What I'm trying to say now is that if you love your souls, and if you don't want to be bankrupted, if you don't want to be torn apart from your families, if you don't want to be stressed out, if you don't want to be sick, if you don't want to be ignorant, do not go inside the kingdom of Pastor Apollo Quiboloy. Just don't even try it if you don't want your life to be miserable and destroyed.
I would say that we are in the 21st century now. We have to use our freedom. We have to use our mind. As we see, this abuse has been going on for 35 years and nothing has changed, but it's getting worse. If there's nobody that would speak up like us, nothing would change. And then this abuse will go on forever. The more people knows what's going on, the more people knows what's happening inside of the kingdom, the more people will go for the change that they need. And we are not doing this for ourselves. We are doing this for the people who are still there, who are still trapped in the cage of this manipulator.